So I'm pretty late on making this video, so I'm just gonna go all spoilers. If you haven't watched Daredevil season 3 yet and you somehow clicked on this video, don't watch this video until you watch it. It's pretty simple. Or unless you don't care about spoilers, in which case, go ahead. It's fantastic. It is so good. It's almost a perfect season. Like, this is almost a perfect season of television. Not just a perfect, not just a great superhero show, not just a great Marvel show. This is almost a perfect, just well executed season of television. And I have to say, as of right now, it's my favorite Marvel Netflix season. One of the best things about this season is just how well each character is treated. Not just Matt Murdock, not just Kingpin, but every side character is given a really good, compelling, and important arc. It's like every character is doing their own part in trying to stop Fisk. And it all comes together so beautifully well, and it all feels natural. And like every character gets their own time to shine. Even this guy. If you would have told me before I watched this season that they were going to introduce a new CIA agent into Daredevil season 3, I would have been like, uh-oh, that's going to be terrible. That's his, like, any time that he's on, it's just going to be filler. But no, man, he was great. They really use him to showcase how once Fisk has you in his grasp, there's no getting out. That's what was great about his character. It's a shame. It's kind of a shame that he got killed off in this season because he was really good, but he really showcased just how dangerous and how intimidating being under Fisk's thumb is. Foggy is definitely better this season. I didn't hate him in previous seasons, but it would get kind of annoying every time. He'd be like, Matt, why are you lying to me, Matt? You're always lying to me. You didn't tell me about stuff. How dare you be Daredevil and saving people's lives? Boo, Matt. No, in this season, he's, like, more understanding of Matt. And, I like that him and Matt started their friendship wanting to do good. And, he doesn't feel fulfilled with his, job as being a fancy lawyer. And I thought I like Foggy this season. Definitely a lot more than I did in previous seasons. I still don't think the guy who plays him is a particularly great actor, and it's really highlighted when he has scenes, like really dramatic scenes with other people, because pretty much everyone else in this show is amazing, and he's just not that good. I don't know. It's fine though. It doesn't like bring down the show or anything. It's just I thought I'd mention it. And then you've got Karen, who's still Karen. She's still a reporter or journalist or whatever the fuck at the what is it? The Daily something? I think it's the Daily something, the newspaper that she works at. She's still good. I actually did really like how they brought back the fact that she killed Wesley. And I like this show because it, things that characters do, they actually do have repercussions. And they don't just, yeah, she killed a guy, but it's fine because she's the good person. She's the good guy. She's gonna get away with it. I mean, she does get away with murder, but I like that they bring it up again, and it was a pretty important factor. And her whole, like, I think it was season 10 where it was basically the Karen Page background episode. That was like the one episode in this season that it's not even that it was bad, because it was a pretty decent episode, but it just stopped the momentum of the show. It's like right when things are really getting good, they're like, oh yeah, let's look at Karen. She was doing drugs or whatever. And yeah, that's like that honestly, that's like my one major complaint about the season. But even though the episode it should have been like one of the first few episodes. You don't put that like at the climax of your story. But like, yeah, even though it was misplaced, it was still pretty good. But Karen, she's still good. Deborah Ann Wool, I think that's her name. Good, go keep on going, doing the things that you do. And then you have Bullseye, who is honestly a fantastic villain. He is both a physical threat to Daredevil, but also an incredibly sympathetic figure because you genuinely end up feeling sorry for him. And I'm not an expert on psychopathy, or because they definitely do touch on mental health in this, and I don't know much about it, but from my very limited knowledge, it does feel like they handled it pretty well. They don't glorify it, but they also don't. I don't feel like they villainize it. You could tell that he genuinely wanted to get better, and he was going to get better because after his psychiatrist died, he's been just on edge, and he'd found this girl. I don't remember her name, but he found this girl, and she was actually going to help him, and then Fisk just kills her, and that is very much the reason why he just decides that what's even the point anymore. He's just gonna go bad, because Fisk, he's puppet master, everyone's just a pawn to him or whatever, all these all these metaphors that you can make. But no, I thought that Bullseye was a fantastic villain, and also the fight scenes between him and Matt are fantastic as well. I honestly, I thought they could have very easily come off as cheesy, but they actually really work. Him like throwing pens and staplers. It doesn't come off as goofy. It actually comes off as like deadly because he can kill you with virtually anything. He was great. Now let's talk about my boy Vincent. No, yeah, he's great. He's probably the best villain in the MCU, honestly. He's just the way that he plays him is just so incredible. Like, and he's just as great as he was in the first two seasons. The way that he's sort of just this imposing threat, but then they also show him as sort of insecure, and just the way that Vincent D'Onofrio is able to just capture that, and you kind of feel for him sometimes, and then other times you really hate him. It's so good. There's really not much more to say about him other than that he is amazing. And then obviously you have Matt Murdock, played by Charlie Cox. He was fantastic in this season. You could really see that Matt was broken, just completely broken, both physically and mentally. Obviously he had the building fall on him at the end of The Defenders, and just physically you can tell that he never really recovered. Like, I don't think there was ever a point in this season where Matt was at 100% capacity, and I think you could really see it. And just mentally, obviously the fact that he couldn't be Daredevil, that just broke him mentally as well. And it was just like Charlie Cox played it perfectly, and yeah, the character was really great this season. I also really liked the way that they tackled his faith. They sort of touched on it in other seasons, but in this one they really tackled it head on, and I thought it was very interesting. I think it adds a cool element to his character, that he sort of believes that he's doing God's work by being Daredevil. And, just seeing him, sometimes be angry with God, and at the end of the series, sort of, I guess, come back to the light, or however you want to describe it. I don't know, I thought that was interesting, and I think it adds in a good element to the character, because, again, they sort of touched on it in previous seasons, but I like that they didn't shy away from it at all in this season, and I thought that was cool. Yeah, and as always, the action in this season was great, just like the first two seasons. But I want to focus on that prison fight, because that was one of the most impressive, just choreographed sequences that I've ever seen in a movie or a TV show. Just because, first of all, it was actually done in one take, and just the way that it went from fighting in that, like, in the room, in like the doctor's office, the way that it goes fighting from there and then transitions into a hallway, then transitions into this other room where there's actual, like, meaningful and impactful dialogue that is furthering the story, and then transitions to that, security guard having to escort Matt out of the prison. The fact that all of that was done in one take, I mean, it's incredible. I don't, it was insane. My jaw was dropped to the floor throughout that entire sequence. But yeah, and just the action overall was great. It's just, like, why couldn't Iron Fist be this good? I remember, like, I was thinking, like, when one of the first like, sort of, like, stealthy scenes where Matt's, like, stealthing his way through, like, a parking garage. I remember I was just watching it. I thought to myself, like, why wasn't Iron Fist this good? Why couldn't it be this good? And yeah, I don't know. I guess they just have different choreographers on these shows. But yeah, no, I mean, Daredevil, it's just overall, this season's amazing. I could go on, but I'd just be rambling. This season's incredible. If for some reason you've watched this entire thing and you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. I actually don't think I really spoiled all that much. But yeah, just seriously, go watch it. It's incredible. I really hope it comes back for another season, because, not too sure that it will. Just seeing the way that Luke Cage and Iron Fist have been canceled. I hope that they continue this. Obviously, Netflix doesn't release their ratings, but yeah, I hope this continues. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, I guess.